close debate. The honourable member for Calgary-Edgemont.
Madam Speaker. And thank you to all of my colleagues on the side of the House that have shared your personal experiences, whether it being a parent or a teacher. And I do wonder how many of us have been touched with knowing a child that's needed extra supports in schools, and how many of us can be grateful because we have, whether it be insurance to help cover that, and be able to pay for these very expensive bills. I'd received a very lovely letter from a constituent who shared her own experiences with me as to why she was supporting my bill, and it was a letter she had sent to the Minister of Education. She writes that she's writing to express my strong support for Bill 208. As an Albertan, I believe this bill is crucial for addressing the systematic gaps in our education system that leave many children, particularly girls, struggling and undiagnosed. My experience highlights the urgent need for changes that Bill 208 proposes. Throughout elementary school, my teachers recognized I was struggling, even without a formal diagnosis. While I received some assistance, such as scribes and occasional access to assistive technology, resources were limited. And due to the lack of an official diagnosis, I was placed at the bottom of a lengthy waiting list. It took nearly 3 years to finally receive an Alpha Smart device, a delay that significantly impacts my learning. And in most cases, with girls, my ADHD presented differently than the typical symptoms, resulting in my own struggles being overlooked. My teachers, while concerned, lacked the training and the time recommended for proper psychoeducational assessments. This delay in diagnosis had a profound impact on my mental health. The undiagnosed ADHD contributed significantly to my anxiety and depression I began experiencing, as I constantly felt like I was a failure, unable to perform tasks that seemed effortless to my peers. By the time I was 15, I was diagnosed with a collection of anxiety and panic disorders. My psychiatrist, while recognizing the signs of ADHD and learning disabilities, felt he couldn't confidently diagnose me due to the limited time we'd spent together. This highlights a critical issue. If a trained professional struggles to diagnose in a private setting, how can we expect teachers with minimal psychological training to identify these needs in classrooms of 30-plus students? My psychiatrist recommended a further assessment for ADHD, dysgraphia, and other learning disabilities. But even with insurance, the cost was prohibitive for my family. Junior high and high school were a constant struggle. I felt hopeless, stupid, and different. These feelings exasperated my anxiety, impacted my mood, sleep, and self-esteem. My mental health deteriorated at the point of hospitalization. The experience of being in the ER for 26 hours and then waiting another day for a bed in a psychiatric ward further exposed the underfunding and the strain on our healthcare system. Finally, after more evaluations and diagnosis, I received the proper medication and support. With this understanding and the right strategies, I began to thrive, significantly improving my anxiety, building confidence, and ultimately earning a BSc degree and on the Dean's List. My story, while ultimately positive, is one of a lucky one. Many women aren't diagnosed with ADHD until their 40s. The thought of what my life could have been if I'd received earlier is heartbreaking. I grieve the lost potential, the unnecessary struggles, and the years of self-doubt. I can only imagine that even greater hardships others endure. Children, especially girls, should not fall through the cracks of an underfunded and overburdened education system. Bill 208 represents a crucial step forward preventing stories like mine. It would provide the necessary resources and support the identify and address learning differences early, allowing children to reach their full potential. I urge everybody in the House to support Bill 208 and make a real difference in the lives of countless children. This bill is not political. This bill is not partisan. Its intention is to support Alberta students and our children. I am asking, the bill is asking for a school psychology service committee. It's to review what other provinces are doing and help improve our processes. It's to help train and support teachers to address classroom complexities. It's to look at the systematic barriers that Alberta students are experiencing, whether it's lack of funding for the assessments. It's please support the bill. It's for our kids.
Yeah.